call to order the regular common council meeting. Monday, August 17th, 7:03 p.m. Roll call.
Braun?
Yes.
Langen?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Reynolds? Radke?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
Alderperson Reynolds is excused. The next item is Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance. Confirmation of appropriate meeting notice.
Meeting was noticed on Friday, August 14th. Agendas were posted at the post office, library, and city hall.
Thank you. Council acceptance of agenda.
Motion to accept?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Langen?
Yes.
Radke? Yes. Burdick?
Yes.
Motion passes. Personal appearances. Anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on anything that's not on the agenda tonight? Okay, we'll move on to the minutes from August 3rd.
Make a motion to approve minutes from August 3rd, 2020 council meeting.
Second?
Any corrections or additions? Hearing none, roll call.
Braun?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Radke? Yes. Burdick?
Yes.
Langen?
Yes.
Motion passes. Next one is to approve the minutes from the August 10th joint plan and council meeting.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any corrections or additions on this one? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Langen?
Yes.
Radke? Yes.
Motion passes. And we'll move on to Finance Committee.
Okay, Finance met this evening at 6:45. Make a motion to approve pay request number 2 from RT Fox Contractors for the West Rollins Street project in the amount of $270,202.05.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Langen?
Yes.
Radke? Yes. Burdick?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve the amended list in front of you for bills and payroll in the amount of $514,724.98.
Second.
Any questions on the bills? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Langen?
Yes.
Radke? Yes. Burdick?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to deny operator's license for Chris Notstad. File is, Mayor has file in case anybody is interested in taking a look at it. Otherwise, Finance has recommended denial.
Second.
Okay. Thanks.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Langen?
Yes.
Radke? Yes. Burdick?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve bidding process for trash and recycling collection services.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Langen?
Yes.
Radke? Yes. Burdick?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve to approve facade grant for 2-8 East Fulton Street in the amount of $5,000 with Historic Commission giving the final review for colors and material.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Radke. Yes. Burdick.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Should I make a motion before we have any discussion on this, or? Okay. Motion to approve introducing and approving the first reading of City of Edgerton Ordinance 20-08, repeal and recreate Chapter 19, Section 19.17D, Operator's License.
Second.
So our question from Finance is on page of the ordinance, page 4, number 8. Affirmative vote of at least 4 council members. We're wondering if that should not read majority instead of 4.
It is entirely up to you. The statute is silent on that. If you would like to have a higher threshold, which this clearly is, you can do that, but you're not required to. So if you simply want to say that it's only upon a majority vote of the council, that is perfectly satisfactory and legal.
Personally, I would prefer majority. Otherwise, if we have 4, we may need to make sure that either we have all 4 or may have to postpone it to a future meeting when we have enough people, in the event somebody wasn't here.
How long has this been for? Forever?
And that is new language, I believe.
Yeah, right. It's new.
When did that get in? I mean, we just wrote that in and now we're taking it out, or what? I don't,
We haven't adopted this ordinance yet, so
right,
now
but where
it's
did the 4 come up with? I'm sorry, where did the 4 come up with?
It was our city attorney's recommendation.
That's what I'm waiting on.
Gotcha!
Okay,
I believe the city 100%, and I have no recollection as to why I would have said that.
okay. That's what I'm
But I
looking
would
for, sorry.
like to point out that there is a Scrivener's error on number 5. The last citation there, or the only citation in number 5, it should not be 11.335, it should be 111.335.
So, I'd like to amend my motion indicating when I had motioned approving it with 2 modifications to the ordinance. One being number 5, to change the state statute section from 11.335 to 111.335. And also under number 8, affirmative vote of majority council members.
Second.
Well, sitting in this seat, I like that.
Yeah, you would. You should. It kind of takes you off the hot seat, doesn't it?
And I've had plenty of them, over the years. Maybe not so many on this
No,
issue,
it
but
could or could not. If it's tie vote, you still have to break the tie, right?
no,
I mean,
Oh, that's true.
not at this state.
Not at that, yeah.
in my mind, though, I'm just thinking of efficiency and
Yeah.
having it come back through another 2 weeks if we have to, so.
But it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I'm okay either way with it, but
Bill?
Not a scaredy cat.
Bill, wouldn't that need to be council members present? Because if you don't, then it goes back to 4.
Well, yeah.
Because they're still,
We have to have a quorum, but the majority of the council present is how it would be interpreted, unless it said majority of the council elect or
Okay.
entitled to a seat.
Or voting council, well, I guess that.
Those are the languages,
Okay.
phraseology you see when you intend that it be all members entitled to a seat.
Present, okay, well, I usually see the word present, because otherwise,
It's just the council that happens to be in those seats at that
Okay.
particular moment, so long as we have a quorum.
okay.
Okay, so on the amendment, the easy one is to add the one, and then it is changing that highlighted part to a majority of the council.
Yeah, majority vote or affirmative vote of the council.
Okay.
And I think I would drop the word members, that's redundant.
Okay, is there any further discussion on the amendment?
Does the
Yeah, okay.
council wish to clarify if it's a majority vote of all members or of the all members present?
That's why I said, if you drop the word members and it is clearer that it's those present, but if you want to add present and take all the verdicts of the amendment, it certainly clarifies. But you can add that point, which is obvious.
You want to add present?
The question is, do you want to? Do you want it added? If you do, I'll accept
Clarification.
your friendly amendment.
Friendly amendment, clarification.
You got it,
members
it's
present.
accepted.
On the second,
what-
do I need to second?
Yeah.
It's clear that you accept that.
I also accept that amendment.
Okay, now then,
Really?
oh, no. but
I'm just kidding.
But I don't know which one we're discussing with those amendments, but the next line is scratched out on this one too, so which, are we adopting this, the second one given, that we're changing, or? Because it.
My
the second-
understanding is that the amendment, the first amendment
Right.
is to the changed language that's there. The crossed out is what used to be there. No? That's a correction, right? From the original?
It's coming out.
Yeah.
That's crossed out from the one that was in your packet,
Yes.
not from the original ordinance,
Okay. Right, because
But
this
the-
is the updated one from, right.
your packet,
Yeah.
correct.
So as presented, right now you're voting on the amendment to the,
Right.
or the ordinance as presented.
Right.
Okay, so,
Do you have any other questions? Jim, you look like you want to,
No, I just want to vote on the amendment so we can get to the next one.
oh,
I mean, the next question on it, before we go on.
everyone's clear on the amendment then?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, roll call on the amendment.
Davis?
Amendments.
yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Langen?
Yes.
Radke? Yes. Burdick?
Yes.
That motion passes.
Now, just a quick, right after it says council, or where we just entered council members present, I have a line through the council may attach conditions and limitations to said license. Is that's what we're going with, not what's in this one?
Correct. So if you
Right.
don't like that, then you should vote against it.
Okay. Nope,
So,
I'm just
yeah,
wondering.
Our intention is that this is what you're adopting, other
This is
than
what
what
we're
you
going
amended
with,
here
right.
tonight.
Yep,
Okay.
So you don't want to attach
correct.
Correct.
conditions and limitations.
That's what I'm gathering by scratching, okay. Where did that come from? Oh, sorry, Bill. I didn't mean- Okay. No, I'm good with it, scratching that, yes, so.
Okay, so back to the original motion to adopt and approve and
Introduce.
introduce and approve the first reading. Any other discussion on that?
How many readings of this will we have?
Two.
Two? Okay.
If there's no further discussion, roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Langen?
Yes.
Radke? Yes. Burdick?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Hey, that's it for finance.
Thank you. How about utility?
Utilities met a week ago tonight, August 10th, and you'll see in your packet on page 23, plus, before I get to that, we have our utility chairperson, Jim Capellan here, that's here to answer any questions anybody might have, in addition, of course, to Randy Orn. The Water Utility Commission had recommended a 3% water increase, or increase in water rates. There has not been an increase in the rate since 2012. Let's see, yep, that's their individual. So based on a couple different pieces of information, as you can see in Ramona's written paragraph here, it made sense to the Utility Commission to do the increase of 3%. Jim, did you want to add anything in addition, or Randy? I think it's pretty self-explanatory, especially when you think that we haven't had an increase since 2012. That's pretty good. The only other thing I might add is by not having an increase and continuing on year after year, in order to catch up, we could very easily need to put in an increase in water rates of up to 17-18% to play catch up, and we don't want to do that.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
We don't even want Sam to print that, but it's too
No.
late now.
Well, I mean, though seriously, I do think that that's part of the
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
That if we are not watching this year after year and paying attention to cash flow and what's going on, that it makes sense not to have a water increase or an increase in our water rates, but if we let it go too long without having a very small increase, we could at some point in time have to play catch up, and it could be a very, very high increase in water rates. So Commission felt that we were doing the right thing.
I think,
So the motion is to approve the water utility rate increase of 3% for 2021.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
I just want clarification. The notes say 2011 was the last increase, not
There-
2012.
And I'm going to clarify, because I think this one is in the staff. The report that went to utility was 2012. The report, when I talked with Wendy, who has the record of all of this, she's a utility billing clerk, she confirmed with me that it was actually 2011.
Oh, okay, so
So
there we go.
even a
So
year
the
earlier.
discrepancy happened in this last week between utility and council.
Okay. Even better to show that it was even a year longer.
Anyone else?
I do think it's important to note the reasoning behind the small increase as opposed to waiting, just because I know that water utility is one of the more expensive utilities in the city that some people have thoughts about. So I think it's important that we also note what we might have to increase to if we did wait.
Yeah. Hence the very high. Yep.
Okay, anyone else? Roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Also at the same meeting, the Utility Commission is recommending a sewer utility rate increase of 3%. There again, the last increase in sewer rates was in 2017. If we look at both the 3% rate increase in both utilities, the increase in charges to the average home with approximately $12,000 or 12,000 gallon usage by quarter, it's only about a $6.71 per quarter increase. So I think that becomes a little bit more manageable. So I have a motion to approve the sewer utility rate increase of 3%.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Motion passes.
And I believe that is all we have from utilities.
Thank you. Plan Commission. We met earlier tonight, so somebody can take that over.
I can do it if you want.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we met a few minutes ago, and I'd like to make a motion that we approve the waiving of the fencing requirements for the outdoor entertainment area at 520 North Main Street, Last Night Bar and Grill.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay. Just for our discussion goes, it's just so everybody, we all discussed it, yes, Sarah, and you weren't, but it's temporary until she can figure out what she's going to do with it, so, okay. Thanks.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Also like to make a motion, we consider the extraterritorial land division for Mill Morrison, Town of Fulton, Section 8, to create 3 lots out of 2 lots on State Highway 59.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Burdick,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Motion passes.
And I'd like to make a motion to the extraterritorial land division for Schumacher, Town of Fulton, Section 16, to combine 2 lots, excuse me, on North Black Hawk Drive.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Burdick, Langen,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Good enough for me.
Hey, thank you. And next item is to consider approving the second reading and adoption of City of Edgerton Ordinance 20-07. Adopt an amendment to the 2015 City of Edgerton Comprehensive Plan for 407 North Main Street.
So I have questions on it, so in order to answer my question, I will make that motion.
Second.
So I know we have these lengthy meetings. What are we approving for this? No change? Are we approving? That's where I'm confused.
407 North Main is the shoe factory, and at the last meeting, you adopted the first reading of an
Yes.
ordinance to modify the comp plan, so
I
this is
got
the second
confused
reading.
with the other ones, so thank you.
Any further discussion?
Was there a motion?
That was my, yes, I had made the
Got it.
motion and, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. And I think, Jim, you seconded? Yes.
Yes.
Roll call.
Davis,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item is to consider lifting hiring freeze for Public Works operator's position.
Make a motion to lift the hiring freeze for Public Works operator's position?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
So this is from a vacancy that was created from a retirement, is that correct?
Correct. This will be to fill Phil Burrows' position.
Okay.
He retired on May 29th.
Yep, okay.
Yep.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Braun,
Yes.
Langen,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Burdick,
Yes.
Motion passes. Mayor, Alderperson, and staff reports. I've got one thing here, and possibly some comments with Howard here once this is done, but got a letter from the, thank you letter from the Edgerton, Wisconsin Veterans Memorial Committee. It's addressed to me. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the citizens of Edgerton in the area that have supported that building. That's where the funds came from, so I don't personally enjoy the thank you coming to me because it's everybody. But on behalf of the Edgerton, Wisconsin Veterans Memorial Committee, I would like to thank you for your purchase of the Center Stone Memorial in the amount of $50,000 to help build a memorial to better honor those veterans, past, present, and future. The Edgerton, Wisconsin Veterans Memorial Committee relies on the generosity of donors such as yourself and is grateful for your support. We are a registered 501c19 tax-free veterans organization, and their number. Your donation may qualify as a tax deduction. Please consult your tax professional. Thank you once again. Sam Wilcox, Treasurer. Yeah, I guess I could see if that'll work in my taxes.
Bill's getting green behind the gills here.
I didn't plan on it, but it spells it right out there. So, the other thing was, I stopped up to the compost pile with compost and brush, and it was a busy place today. At least a couple times I was there. So, and I don't know what you had for people you wanted to take their stuff back with them, but I know there was a couple prior to me getting there.
Yeah, I think in the time I was there from 3 o'clock till about 5:30, and I think we had 50-some people come through, and we turned away, I believe it was 5.
Because out of town, or?
Because they
what?
were from out of the city. Yep.
Wonderful.
And one
Also
thing,
he also had people trying to dump other things too that
Yeah,
he turned
okay.
away too.
one thing I did notice, everybody's throwing it in the piles really good, rather than
that
just
as well.
dumping it out on the flat ground and driving away. But at least when I was there.
No, that seems to be the case. A little bit of direction is going a long way up there.
So,
Excellent.
Can I get one thing, Chris?
Yep.
Or you not know? Just wanted to say that I had an email from a concerned constituent who had a couple of things that she would like addressed, and they were promptly addressed by staff and the chief and whatnot. But at the end of the concerned citizens' comments and issues, she also threw in there, by the way, city is running great. So, throw that at everybody. And that was before we took care of her issues. So
Oh, my.
That's not bad.
Wow.
anyone else?
You want me to give an update?
Oh yeah, we didn't.
Yes.
So while it definitely wasn't a typical season for us, it did provide us a lot of growth and opportunity so that we could find ways to open and be safe, and it has gone very well this season. We're way up on, I shouldn't say way up, about 1,000 more patrons than what we typically have had in the month of July and August. So I gave you, again, the July numbers, and then I also did August 1st through the 15th. So our pool revenues are up and our concession revenues are down, but so far we've brought in over $40,000, which is about half of what we typically bring in, but we also have a shorter season. We didn't do season passes, we didn't do swim lessons, and we had prepackaged food. But I hope that with all the positive experiences that people have had, we've had a lot of new people come and a lot of returning people coming, so I hope that that'll help with the season passes if we can do that next year. We'll see what next year brings. But overall, we've been really good as far as staying healthy. My staff, I haven't had anybody at all that's been around anyone positive or contracted it. So that was really good. They continue to do an amazing job, and every day somebody thanks me for opening and making sure that we're like keeping everything clean. So I just want to say thank you for taking the chance and making that decision to open, because it was really good for people to have a safe outlet for doing something other than staying home. So season 30, which I can't believe, 30 years.
I know.
Is something that I'll always remember, but it's been really good, and I appreciate that you had the faith in us to do it, so thank you.
This is the last week of the pool opening?
Yeah, it is. Actually, Saturday is our last day,
Okay.
so,
Yeah.
And again,
again-
we want to thank you for everything that you've done. That's a
Absolutely.
superb job.
Yeah.
I mean, fantastic with everything you had. And today was booming when we came in, and so this good turnout today. It was
Yep.
excellent.
Yeah, we're doing okay. So, thank you.
And thank you. Anyone else?
Okay, I'll make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require closed session. Discuss and consider sale of city land in the business park.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Burdick?
Yes.
Langen?
Yes.
Braun?
Yes.
Radke?
We are enclosed. Do you have to switch phones?
I think Mr. Stevens can go, because a little bit of background was in your packet. Hopefully you had a chance to look over that. So Randy's here to speak with you and answer any questions you might have.
Okay. Yeah, we're detergent and sanitizer.
Yeah, and
you
can't
can move
hear
that
it quite
down.
as good unless it's amplified a little bit.
Thank you.
We're a detergent and sanitizer manufacturing company, been around since 1955, started in the garage in Beloit, moved into our current facility in Janesville in 1960. So it's seen better days. We kind of stayed stagnant, I guess, until about 2010. Then I bought in and we added food. We kind of added some new markets. We started selling to food plants, including Johnsonville Brats and Kellogg's and stuff like that. And it really kind of catapulted us, and we've grown every year since. We've added 6 people now year to date. We're 26 employees. We have 3 temps on staff. We'll likely add them before the end of the year. It's just been a continual growth over the past decade, and this year has seen a lot of growth because we've added some new products, hand sanitizer and surface sanitizer and stuff. We're FDA, EPA, DOT, kosher, a variety of other things. So we have a lot of government entities inspecting us, and we do not use any carcinogens or anything that's harmful. We had a few chemicals of concern to the Department of Homeland Security when I started there. We got rid of all of those, so it's really clean, green, nice stuff that cleans and sanitizes. And that's what we do now.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
So you're outgrowing your current,
We
Building.
grew it a couple years ago. Yeah.
okay.
It's past due. We have trailers on site. It's
Oh, okay, I was going to say, how are you managing them?
very poorly.
Okay. So you're in Janesville, are you?
We're by the back bar. You know that area, so right by GM.
Oh, sure, okay.
Half a mile
Yep.
east of GM.
Okay. Wonderful. And your growth, of course, must have something to do with the pandemic?
Certainly, this year has been a record year, although we have grown steadily over the past 10 years.
Okay, that was my,
Every year has been growing from the
Okay.
previous year. Typically, we grow 10%-ish.
Okay.
This year,
Well, yeah.
a lot bigger.
so you don't see like, hopefully once this is kind of behind us, that you're going to have a decline or anything. It's just going to be a steady
We've seen that.
Steady Eddie and grow.
Flatten the curve?
Flatten the curve, yeah.
Probably. I'm sure that this year is an anomaly, but I keep thinking it's going to decrease, but we keep getting larger and larger orders and
Good.
better and better months, so, yeah.
Want anything else?
I just wanted to, we talked briefly, and I just wanted to see if the council had any questions regarding any services or anything in particular you would need in our business park. Our business park has all of the infrastructure in place. I just wanted to make sure that provided you with size of pipes and everything. Everything is, I assume at this point, acceptable?
I think so. I didn't ask about internet. What do you have for internet? Who's the provider?
Frontier.
Frontier. Okay. Do they have fiber or is it?
No, there's a lot of copper. I can get you those details on what's out there. I don't remember off the top of my head to that lot.
Is Charter out there too?
In the park? I don't think so.
So does that mean that we could get them though if we asked for their services out there, or is it a?
We have in the past, and there hasn't been enough demand for charter. So, but let me get all that information to you, and then let's see if there's something needed, what we can do.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Any other things in particular that the council should be aware of, of your needs or interests, or?
Not really. As you can see by the plans, we plan on about a 40,000 square foot facility, which is about double what we currently have. That would already be filled up day one. So we'll probably start the plan to expand another 40,000 shortly after that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think everything's looking good. We wouldn't have turned all the temps into permanent employees if we didn't expect this to continue. We're recruiting now for even more people. So it's growing.
Wonderful.
And we are shovel ready, so we can react pretty quick.
So, this question always comes up in my mind when we talk to people with this kind of situation, and I've never asked that, but I'm going to tonight. And Janesville's not that far, I get it, but when you have somebody who might move their business, their building someplace else, do you fear of losing some employees because they wouldn't want to commute, even though this isn't that far? Is there always a concern that you could lose employees and then you might have to add more, or?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, we have some employees that live in Illinois, I think.
Oh, okay, okay.
I don't know if they'll make the trip. So I have talked to all the employees, and
Okay.
some of them are on the fence as to whether they would come with us, but I do believe, with the closer location, or closer to Madison, we'd be able to kind of pull people from there or from Janesville community and replace them if they chose not to come with us. So
Good. Okay.
I think nobody's absolutely said no, we're not going to move. So most people are. There's people from Edgerton, there's people from Milton. So about half the people that's closer to their home, and the half that's further. So
in today's day and age, I'm sure you'd find enough people to, if you had to do some replacing. There's plenty of people out there looking, but yeah, I get it. Okay, thank you.
Is this a complete relocation?
Yes.
You're moving there? Okay. Because you said you're already talking about having maybe expand again, so we're open. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that's one thing. The council's very cooperative when we call special meetings to get things done, so we will do whatever we can to move the process along and hopefully help make a decision for you.
Outstanding. Thank you.
Yeah, this looks nice. I mean, I know it's got to go to others, to the out there business park, but I like it.
And I think you heard that wonderful comment you read earlier, did you not, about the constituent that said the city is running well?
I think it was great.
Oh, yeah, great. What great time that was.
By the way, the city is doing great.
Okay.
Running great. We're good.
I think we had a little conversation about that while finance was going on. How well the staff works with everyone here, and how it makes it more of a pleasure to sit in this seat than it has been in a few years past. So we actually had that conversation. So
I would say, yeah, your years of being a mayor should prove that. Yeah. That staff is great to work with. I can't imagine why you would want to be sitting in that seat. Yeah.
Right.
And again, you'll find staff is great to work with, like Ramona just said, let her know your needs, I mean, and we will definitely work through this, so. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say that on the record yet, huh?
Do you have any questions for us?
I don't think so.
Do you have any questions for us on
I do not.
council as a representing the,
Earlier,
okay.
everything looks really good.
Great, the word is great.
I have to take the next step.
How quick are you looking to, I mean, I don't know how long we're, but you're ready to move when we're ready?
Yes.
When it's ready?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
hoping to move in March.
Okay. That was also a question I had too, Jim, so thanks.
So
We're ready to go.
we can help any way we can with the process to move it along.
Boy, I love those two words, shovel ready.
Yeah.
We worked hard to get that, so good.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you. Yep, thank you.
Thank you for
Have a safe
coming.
trip home.
Seems like you're here for quite a while for just
Yeah.
a couple minutes to visit with us here, but
Sorry we don't have more questions for you, but we're happy.
Yeah. It was nice meeting you, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We have a few things to go over. I don't know if you want to just put you have your monitors, the elevations?
Should this be?
I don't know, how do you scroll?
No, she
Is it
will.
not
Oh.
She'll do
projected?
that.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, I meant
Do
that.
that.
So I was just showing you the site plan.
Oh, okay, good. That's what I was like, I can't scroll.
Where's the mouse?
Yeah, you look at the drive. So here's the, a draft site plan,
Ah, okay.
and with the
That was
90,000,
my
they show
question.
90,000 square foot expansion, I think that's a little optimistic, but that would build out the whole site. So this is the first I'd heard about maybe even expanding once the 40,000, that's the first I'd heard about that, so that's.
That was my question.
Yeah, I wanted to know, like, how much space their initial facility would take up in the lot that's being presented, yeah.
Right.
So.
So they meet the standard, some of the basics, the amount of building they're building based on the size of the lot meets the standard for the park, so it's, that ratio is acceptable. I'll just hit a few highlights and then a few of the discussion points for us to go over so I can get some direction from you. You heard 26 employees, that's up from, as he mentioned, from the when I last spoke with him. The estimated value of the building is between 1.5 and 1.8 million, building and land, I should say, because right now it's tax exempt. So that's the tax increase from the project. They are looking at other communities. We are not alone in this, so we need to, keep in mind our efficiencies as well as whatever we offer them to try to attract them. They are waiting, last I talked with him, which was on probably Friday of last week, their last step is getting final estimates from the builder to know that there is a project. Again, given their growth and every conversation I have with them, he's more and more confident about this year has probably provided him with pretty good down payment for
An
that building,
extra
I'm guessing,
cushion,
so
yeah.
it may be affordable now. Or maybe before, without this bump, it may not have been. So one other point to note regarding the ownership is there's a chance that the builder may be the investor and then DeVry would be a tenant at least for a while. That's not necessarily that uncommon. That would change our agreements language. He's there until he gets the final costs and then the final conversation with his bank. He's pretty confident that he will be the owner initially and there won't be an interim owner. So there are a few steps they have to take care of. What I wanted to talk with you about, Chris, I forgot to mention to you, by your foot. You got it. Okay. So the exterior material of the building is probably the, I'd say the biggest decision or the biggest, I'll use it, compromise. I don't know if that's the right word, but the covenants, the restrictive covenants and the design guidelines. The covenants are laws, the guidelines are guidelines. And so the guidelines are where the language regarding the exterior materials that we want in our business park. And the business park guidelines say buildings should not be primarily made of metal. So they are proposing, in that photograph that you saw, the one-story part where the office is in the front there, that's masonry. It's block, it's decorative block. The rest of the building is all this insulated metal panels. And they have insulation in the center core, so they're highly energy efficient, but it is a metal product. And they come in, if you were to go, like I did, go online and look at what you can do with these products, there's a million different things you can do, color, texture. They are proposing, what's in that picture is it'll look like a concrete tilt-up panel. It'll look not dissimilar from the DOT building and from the Save-A-Lot building, which is a concrete tilt-up material. So it'll look like that. It isn't as durable. That's why our park says no metal. And one other reason why it says no metal is many times metal, if you don't also specify, you can't see fasteners. It is a product that has oil canning, and you can really see the fact that it's, nailed to a 2x4. That is what some of the things that degrade or lower the value in a business park. So that's why it isn't suggested as the primary material. So hopefully in your packet you read the architect who we have worked with consistently in our design review committee. And the design review committee is the committee that would decide whether or not to allow this kind of material to be predominantly on that building. I asked the architect, what do you think of these things? His comments are in the staff report, which I hope you saw. He indicated why they are now becoming very popular because of their energy efficiency and new energy efficiency codes that are required for commercial structures. So that was in the meeting we had with them initially. That issue was the first thing that was brought up, is that we want to build with these panels because it's cost efficient, energy efficient, and they know what our covenants are. And so I want you to be aware of all of that. If the design committee, which is the mayor, the city administrator, and this architect, were to agree to that, anyone who was aggrieved by that would go to the board of directors of the Business Park Association, and that is AM Mailing, Save-A-Lot, and a city rep. So I've been debating, and you can welcome to give an input. I mean, I could easily go to AM Mailing and Save-A-Lot whenever the time is right and say, here's what the review committee has approved, and here's why we approved it. And they have, in the past, those companies have both expressed interest in having more tenants in that park because that helps their value.
Sure.
So I don't know what their reaction would be, but I would be, I'd love to get this done, but I also don't want any backlash from them indicating, why are you letting a building go in that isn't made of concrete? I mean, the concrete building that Save-A-Lot, it is almost as much of a diversion from the guidelines as is this, because the concrete is supposed to be, if it's an all-concrete building, it's not supposed to be flat walls, 30-foot panels with no detailing on it at all, and that's what Save-A-Lot is. And again, that was because of what their company is and how they insulated those panels because of the refrigeration that goes on in that building.
Sure.
So that was, I'll say, a bit of a compromise also if you read the design guidelines. So there's
Mailing may expand in the future and could go that route then too. So.
And AM Mailing, if you look at their building, they have two masonry walls, but the back two walls, which are their expansion walls, are metal. So half of their building is metal, and we allow expansion walls to be metal. So AM Mailing, already is 50% non-masonry. But it's considered a masonry building because those were,
So I think I'm hearing you say that there could be some flexibility there with some workaround.
It is not contrary to the covenants. The covenants are, as you know, covenants in any subdivision, they're just like that. They're set, much more rigid. They're recorded against the properties. These are guidelines, and so there's not a variance. It's not it is, the review board can just allow for it.
You just want to make sure that people are happy.
Hypothetically speaking, it seems that they would most likely be open to it.
I think so. I hope so. We would be, in our site plan review as a staff, when this comes through the design review committee, as well as when it comes through the plan commission, we would want to talk about any place where there's a door opening, especially if it's not just a service door, any kind of other door. We would want, at a minimum, bollards. At a maximum, we would want more durable material near all those doors. Anywhere where there's parking or loading that can get near the building, that's when you get the building looking tough, because you touch that stuff with a semi and it bends.
I think that was one of my other questions, because the architect's last comment is that IMPs have the same durability as a typical metal panel.
Right.
So we'd want to make sure that if we do accept this as a large part of the building, that we're acceptable, we want it to be a little bit more durable, yeah, I guess
Right.
that was my concern.
I'm thinking
So-
of that loading and that site plan, the loading is all occurring on the south side of the building. And that's another, I'll say, compromise. The covenants say that you shouldn't have your loading facing the street. They have streets on three sides.
Oh.
So the loading is on the Lake Drive side, which is the side we would want it on, not facing the park,
Sure.
because the image of the park is down Interstate. So, so in this graphic here, you can see on the south side of the building, they have all the loading, so.
Oh, you gotta
Oh,
scroll
sorry.
again. Driver.
So tell me, because I'm seeing, what are you seeing right now?
Oh, I thought you
Pipeline.
wanted to show us a picture of the front of the building.
Oh, I can. This is the front. I was showing you the loading.
The loading,
Got it,
so
thank
that'd be,
Here's all the loading documents.
oh, I see, okay, yeah.
Sure.
So that would be the area of the building we would want to ensure they have anything, anywhere there's a driveway that comes to the building is protected from any, truck backing into it.
So Ramona, that grade area, the darker grade,
Yep,
that is lot 6?
that is expansion. The dark gray, the really dark gray is the
This is
40,000 square foot
all
building built on.
lot 6, I think,
All 6.
yeah.
Oh, it's all 6,
Yeah.
thank you. The 40, okay,
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, it's all one line.
Thank you.
So before it goes to the design review committee to approve this, is there anybody that has an issue with this type of material for the structure of it?
Barry, you're a resident expert.
I was concerned about what the finish is. I'm glad you had a sample of what that would look like. And the fact that we are going to have that discussion point for areas that are heavier traffic for daily interaction. That was my other concern. So,
And the fasteners are hidden, so.
yeah, no, that I read that part too. My only concern was that it had the same durability, and that answers my question.
Right.
So,
I mean, I got to believe that a metal building with metal siding and then insulated.
Right.
It's what they used to, how it's usually done, the steel structure, and then in between they put the insulation. I got to believe this is a little bit more durable just because it's got the foam
Sure.
directly, behind it. But it's, in the same neighborhood, which is why it's listed on our design guidelines as not the most desirable, the best material. Ideally, everything's all masonry, but that's not, no one's going to build a 40,000 square foot manufacturing facility out of masonry at this point, so. So,
We're okay with that then. So next hurdle?
do you want to sell that lot? And then if you want to sell the lot, how much do you want to sell it for? And he indicated that they are meeting with Janesville. They're in Janesville, so I'm not surprised. They're meeting with Janesville about land there
Sure.
also. So they're not just considering
do
Edgerton.
you have any idea what kind of incentives that Janesville can offer?
I'm gonna guess, but, so I don't know exactly. I haven't studied
Sure.
their deals. They give land away all the time, is my understanding.
Okay.
So it is a common, I know when we started the business park, the group that helped us develop it was Mooney Lesage at the time. And they believed that all of Rock County, that we'd all lost our mind and that we were all giving away land. And they said, this is the mark, you don't have to do that. You can sell land, and it has not played out that way. So we either probably all have to go at the same time,
Right.
or Janesville's going to give it to them for $1, and we're going to stand, and say 5,000, make your number up, whatever that number
Right.
is. And as long as someone in the area is giving away land, then that's the market.
We don't know
So-
what other incentives they can give either.
Right.
Correct.
Well, yeah, Janesville, if they have an active TIF district, then they can give cash incentives, and
We can't for out there.
right.
And I kind of told them that when we were visiting out here, that the tip expenditure period's done out there, so it's a little tougher for us to give some incentives that way.
We do have, I prepared a draft just for the mayor letter to send tomorrow morning, so we'd be right on the spot with a
away.
response. And we do have, the city has a revolving loan fund. There's about $100,000 balance in that, and that's for low-interest loans for business development, job creation. So I haven't used that tool yet. I think tomorrow will be, whatever you want to offer the land for, that's your decision. And then we would say, if you're interested in a a low-interest loan for equipment purchase, because that would be the easiest thing for us to put some kind of lien on, is a piece of equipment. We'll make sure that he's aware of that also. And that money's been sitting there for a while, so it would be good to make it roll around.
Are we limited to the money that's there, or is it an avenue to bring more into that fund that we could possibly use for this or another project?
It would be, at this point, it would be your money.
Right.
When I say your money, the city's money. So you would have to take levy money or savings and put it into some kind of economic development fund. That's how this one was capitalized 30 years ago.
Yep, and we're not making anything on our investments like we have in the past, but...
Yeah, right. So, I mean, if it came down to that, I think we can talk about that, but I don't, their investment's going to be, significant enough that I don't know that that's going to...
I guess another question that I have. So the land improvements is 1.5 to 1.85 million.
That's
So
the assessed value.
Okay, assessed value.
Not the
What
cost.
what does that do, like, is there a number that we can think of annually that we would see in a return from developing this area?
So it's like $24 per thousand, so who's got quick math for 1 million?
Million would be 24,000.
Right, so
Zeros and
36 taxes, total, 36 total in taxes they would pay, and we get about 25%, 30% of that as the city.
Okay.
So, it's a
In other
certainly...
words, more than what we're getting now.
Sure. No, I was just curious as to...
Right.
I mean, if we do decide to basically give the land away, I wanted to know what the value that we would be getting back might look like.
Right, good question. And then, of course, the enticing part to me was hearing that gee, there might be,
Another expansion as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the hope, right, is you get them in
Right.
and then they expand.
And
Yeah. They show another 89,000 expansion. I'm not sure you could fit that on there, but...
I think too that if they do that second expansion as well, then that's makes Edgerton an even more attractive place for people living in Madison that might want to pay less for where they're living to move here as well. So
I am,
And all the taxes help us all because they're going to the school.
right.
I'm
Some in
really,
Dane County, but...
yeah, I'm really excited about this. I have kind of a good feeling about it.
I
had a really good feeling about it until you told me that they're also looking to stay in Janesville, but...
Me too.
But why would they even think about us if they thought that it was a wrapped-up done deal in Janesville, unless they want to use it for leverage with their deal in Janesville? But
it sounded to me like he liked the closer proximity to Madison, but that's just...
He personally lives close to us. So he found us. Because the broker who was representing it, we've been working on this for, 8 months.
Sure.
And now the broker may still be in the deal, but now we're dealing directly with the business, which is always a great step.
Which is a good sign.
yeah, you're saying, yeah.
I mean, I find this personally pretty exciting because this is also something that people in my district have expressed. Why don't we have more business development? Why are we doing it? I mean, there's a lot more to it than that, obviously, but this would be a very tangible way to be like, look, see?
Right.
Loving it. I say go for it for $1. 50 cents.
I'm inclined to say the dollar as well, just because we don't really have much else to offer by way of incentive.
And we've
we
done
could
that
really
with the other
benefit from
businesses out
this,
there.
so...
And I like the fact of the revolving credit, you said? The
Yeah, well-
revolving loan
Well, yeah.
that we could use as a little carrot if need be.
Yeah, I think we'll mention it tomorrow if there's a reply. Like I said, the mayor's got a draft of that. We're going to talk to Bill real quick before he leaves.
And speaking of grant writing, I told them how the Rollins Street project's not costing the taxpayers anything, so.
Oh, great job.
And I never even read that, forgot about that in here, so I was just,
We did talk with the state right away. After our meeting, I immediately went to the state WEDC to see what we could do. Because it's an in-state business, they're very reluctant, rightfully so, of giving incentive to take one business from another in the same region particularly. But there may be, depending upon the size of the project, potentially eligible for tax credits. So They're aware of that, and we got on it right away, and so they're, oh, good, well, we'll meet with them if there's an opportunity. So we'll chase all of that if there's anything out there.
If we go back to them, right away, right tomorrow, what do you think their response time would be back to us, whether or not they're...
Well, he had said last week that either this week or next week he'll have the final numbers. And I
Okay.
think once the final numbers are here, then he says, then he'll know I have a project. And then beyond that, I think he's really interested in being in Edgerton, but I don't know anything about the process in Janesville. So I don't
Okay.
know where they are or how serious they are.
Not just with this situation, but just in general through the years when businesses have approached the city, does the business park's location in Dane County ever come as a drawback? I'm especially thinking for a Rock County business. Did they see, and I may be like exposing a personal bias, but I would just, like if I, citing a business, I'd probably think Rock over Dane. Does anyone ever say that?
I would say that there's a perception that, it's going to be really hard to take care of because it's in Dane County. And so we have to then explain it's in the city, it's already in the urban service area. You don't have to talk to Dane County zero to do this. It's all our local control. Yeah. The flip side of that is there are people that don't want to leave Dane County, but they want to leave an area where they are and they want to, move out, but they still feel that they want to be in Dane County because maybe they're employees. So or they want to be near the university, and it sounds better if you're in Dane County.
Right.
So it depends on your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so to me, that makes it an ideal location, plus they're close to the interstate.
Mm-hmm.
If I think about where
For
they're at
logistics,
now.
I mean, it's an ideal location, logistically speaking, for large trucks coming and going.
For their employees that drive up.
Yeah,
from
commuters,
the border
everything.
to
It's
drive into-
ideal.
Wait, what,
drive
3
into
more
where they are.
exits or
It's not
whatever?
so long to come up the interstate.
Right, it'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah, to know how much time it would take to get to the spot in Janesville versus get to that. I don't know.
Does Rock County,
A long
because we're
time to
talking
go
about
through
incentives, does Rock County provide anything as a county entity in incentives to not lose a business like that today?
Rock County has, they used to have the same thing the city had, was that state revolving loan fund that we have used on Round Street. They're cashing that out too because they have to. So I'm not aware of any other countywide programs that they can offer.
And do you know, I didn't want to ask him about this, but just they're in such a growth business and I mean, there's a lot of stability. They've been where they are a long time, but I don't know if you did any research, does this look like something that could be bought up by an Ecolab or something in a few years? Or, I mean, did anything about its life cycle strike you as maybe they're making a move for some merger or some sell?
Never occurred to me. It may be just because it never occurred to me, but I didn't get any indication that this is a play to get to position themselves to sell out to somebody else. I never got that indication. My impression, he's been with the company a long time, and he's been, it sounds like, primarily the driver of its growth. So that's always encouraging, I guess. But I don't know the
That's
answer to
an
that.
interesting point, though. So if we say we sell them the land, they build the building, and they decide to sell and merge with a larger corporation that doesn't necessarily want to stay here, what is that? Do we have any control over that?
You have a tax base. I mean, you will have a tax base, so the jobs would be gone
Somebody's paying taxes on it no matter what.
regardless of who owns it, right? So the
Right.
tax base wouldn't go away.
Unless the
So
state buys it, then.
There are some,
I worry more about that with the shop floor.
yeah, with someone trying to reduce the value
Right.
significantly,
Sure.
yes, arguing that,
But we do have that on the property to our west here.
But I guess that was my main question, because I
It's
know, I
almost
feel
full,
like that
actually.
happened,
It
something
is.
similar to that. They came in for a while, and then
Mm-hmm.
when their benefits were gone, they left or something?
yeah,
like
that's
that?
not uncommon in the economic
Right,
development
right.
world. So you can do some kind of clawback provisions in an agreement that says you have to stay for a certain number of years. In this instance, I think that would be I think they would
That's
really
correct.
look
Right.
not favorably about that because I think they sincerely are, this is our company and we, I don't know.
And they've
That's
been
my
based in
impression.
Janesville for, he said first in Beloit, right? And then they moved to their facility in or no, where were they?
Janesville.
They're in Janesville, right, yeah.
garage in
Not in
Janesville.
front of him.
No, he said Beloit for South Beloit or something like that for a garage in
We discussed.
Beloit, right?
Like you said.
I don't remember where they started at 55 and then moved
Something
to
like that,
67
yeah.
or something, I don't remember.
We used to fill some products for them at IKI.
Oh, okay.
They came up and picked them up themselves back then.
Man, like I said, I got a good feeling about this one.
I hope
I
so.
really do.
Well, if there's anything we can do, planning commission wise, whatever we have to do to bring committees together or council together,
This is a lovely one.
hopefully everybody's up to it.
Yeah.
Is there any other product, I mean, he painted a good rosy picture, and I hope it is that way, but is there any product that they do that has been controversial in the news, or, that's
Funny
some
you-
environmental concern someone might have?
Funny you say that because when I was reading something, the word chemical was in there, and I thought,
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder how that would
that's the headline.
come across, right? Yeah.
That was their company name, the Beer Chemical Company.
So the one thing that we asked initially, because we always do, because we don't have a plant the size of Janesville's wastewater treatment plant. Ours is new, which is fabulous, and it can deal with a lot more than the old one could. But we always ask that question. And the conversation primarily was, we take things and mix things and package things and sell things. We don't produce the chemicals. So they're not, they don't, they're not heating and they're mixing.
They won't have
Right.
waste removal things,
Right.
problems.
It's a byproduct
Yeah.
of this.
True.
It was no impact on the wastewater treatment plant. Mostly it's going to be, if any water they use primarily is product water, and the only domestic waste, or the only waste they're going to have is domestic waste from restrooms. So there was no red flags regarding the wastewater treatment plant capacity or impacts.
Anybody ever see the movie Good Morning Vietnam?
Yeah.
The guy in that movie, when they reference that he sends to Wisconsin for his cleaning products, that's where they got him from. Seriously.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's where they got him.
I watched that a couple times, and I'm not so sure I ever caught that line.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking at their website
That's where
now.
they got him from. And that was
Wow.
65, I believe it was.
Huh.
So,
Go for it.
do we need to go into open session to make any motions on this? Because we don't want too much of this getting
No,
out.
no.
No, I don't think so. We have direction. I would,
Love it. I'm loving it. Good.
all right? Anything
Yeah.
else?
Exciting.
It is, very.
Keep us posted. I hope we have to call a special meeting.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I mean, that'd be a good thing.
Theoretically, would this also attract other businesses to the rest of the vacant lots that are in that business park? Because the value will continue to
Right.
essentially go up?
That's the hope, and they may have suppliers too.
Sure.
That maybe also in a growth
Okay.
phase, that they're like, oh, well, this would be convenient. there's land, there's space right here. This is one of
Like
my-
GM did when they started building their or when they were building their seats and then they outsourced those seats to Lear. Lear built a building near GM,
Okay.
a production facility.
All right.
Yeah.
So that would be the hope. That's what we try to talk to our existing businesses with. Do you have any
Sure.
suppliers who are looking? Because we'd love
Right,
to talk with
right.
them.
Okay, I don't think I have any more questions.
And you're still out there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thanks. Any questions?
No, sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Well, we don't motion to go into open session.
Just
We just,
motion to adjourn.
yeah. Okay. Make motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Probably got too quick on the opposed.